Hello guys, so in this video we are going to be talking about a summary on cells and tissue. So cells, what is a cell? A cell is defined as the smallest basic unit of life that is responsible for all of life's processes. So basically a cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. We have types of cell. We have two types of cell. We have the eukaryotes. They have a defined nucleus mostly near the center of the cells. This is the most common type of cell. They are found in all animals, plants, fungi, and many unicellular organisms. While the second type of cell is called the prokaryotes, they do not have a nucleus or any membrane-bound organelles. A diagram of the prokaryotes is this: just a DNA strand in a water-based jelly called the cytoplasm. So this is an example of a prokaryote cell. While eukaryote cell examples are plant cells and animal cells. So let's go into that in detail. The plant cell. The plant cells are eukaryotic cells. They have various components known as cell organelles, and these cell organelles are in special compartments, and that is why eukaryotes are more advanced, are the advanced type of cell, because these compartments they allow eukaryotic cells to develop complex coordinated cellular processes than prokaryotes. So some of these organelles include the nucleus, the nuclear membrane, the cell wall, the vacuole, and the chloroplast. So the nucleus is like the center of the cell. It controls most of the activities of the cell. While the chloroplast is unique to the plant cell, it converts sunlight into energy through a process called photosynthesis. So that is one of the major difference between a plant cell and an animal cell. So for animal cells, it's also the same thing. It has a nucleus, it has a cell membrane, it has endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. These are just the main organelles in the animal cells. There are a lot of organelles. The mitochondrion is mostly referred to as the powerhouse of the cell. So this is a diagram of the animal cell. You can see there are other organelles that are there. But one thing to notice, the animal cell is surrounded by a cell membrane, and that cell membrane does some function. It protects the cell, it gives the cell its shape, and the cell membrane also allows passage of materials in and out of the cell. So not anything can enter or go out of the cell. The cell membranes monitor that and control passage of materials in and out of the cell. The nucleus is the center. Is also surrounded by what we call the nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane is a double layer that protects the nucleus and protects it and give it a compartment in the cell. So that's just things to note. Cell theories. Cell theory there are some scientific theory that was first discovered in the mid-19th centuries to describe the cell, to describe what is a cell. So the first one we have is all living organisms are made up of cell. So they discovered that every living organism, every animal, every plant is made up of cell. Cell is the basic building block of life. Cell is the simplest unit of life, because after cells, when cells come together, they form tissue, tissue form organs, tissue form organs, organs form system, system form the organism. So cell is at the beginning, the basic building block, and all cells come from pre-existing cells that have multiplied. So these theories were discovered very long ago, and they are referred to nowadays as the classical cell theory. But after more discoveries were added, we added 3 more cell theory, and these are energy flows within the cell, similar species have similar cells, cell divide and pass along their genetic information to new cells. So these theory we added, they are referred to as the modern cell theory. But everything together is the cell theory as we know it. So that is a summary on cells. We'll go to tissue now. Tissue. What is a tissue? A tissue is a group of cells working together to perform one or more specific function. So when cells perform a function, they come together to achieve a purpose. We call that a tissue. And histology is the study of tissue. So when we study tissue, we refer to that as histology. Types of tissue. We have 4 types of tissue. The first one is nervous tissue. They have basically 2 functions: sensing stimuli and sending electric impulses through the body as a response to that stimuli. Nervous tissue, their examples are neurons. They are found almost everywhere in the body. Their job is to detect stimuli. For example, when you touch an hot surface or a hot spot, for example, you neurons in the hand, they detect that stimuli, that this is hot, send the information to the brain. The brain is what interprets it as hot. So they send that stimuli that they detect. The brain interprets it as hot, sends to the spinal cord. The spinal cord will send to the muscle tissue that to remove your hand from that hot surface. But it's neurons or nervous tissues that send the stimuli from your hand to the brain, send it from the brain to the spinal cord, send it from the spinal cord back to your hand for you to take action. So they are very important in the body, and neurons are the most abundant and the most common type of nervous tissue. Glia is also an example, but neurons are mostly found everywhere, and they make up 90% of the tissues in the brain. Structures of a typical neuron. These are a neuron, the diagram of a neuron. The second type of cell is muscle cells. Muscle tissues. Muscle tissues can contract, and it enables us to walk, talk. So it enables us to move, walk, and breathe. And there are 3 types. We have the skeletal muscle. These muscles are what are attached to our bones that help us move. It's also a voluntary muscle because we think about moving, we think about carrying something. So those are skeletal muscles. They help us achieve those things. While cardiac muscles are found in the walls of the heart, they are the muscles that contract and relax, that pump blood throughout our body. It's a voluntary muscle, and that is necessary because you don't want to have to think to pump blood throughout the body. So it works on its own without you knowing. While smooth muscles, they line the walls of our blood vessels and our tracts, like the digestive tract. So they cover the tracts and they squeeze substances. They allow substances to pass through them by squeezing, contracting, and relaxing. So for example, in your digestive tract, when you eat your food, for it to pass and go to the stomach, there are smooth muscles that line the tract that enable it to go down to start the digestion processes. The diagrams of them, the skeletal muscles, they look like this. They have striation, these lines that we can see, and their cells are mostly multinucleates, meaning they have 2 or more nucleus. While cardiac muscle, they have striation too, but they are mostly uninucleates, meaning they have only 1 nucleus. So skeletal muscles are what are found attached to bones. Cardiac muscles are found in the heart. Then smooth muscles, no striation. They are short tapered cells and are arranged to form tight knit sheets, and they squeeze substance through by contracting and relaxing. So these are smooth muscles found in our tract. Another type of muscle, the third type, is epithelial tissue. This is the tissue that organizes our body. It covers every organ in the body and protects our organ. They are classified by shape and layer. So by shape, we have 3. We have the squamous, meaning flat. We have the cuboidal, meaning cube. And we have the columnar, meaning column. So that is their shape. Tissue, epithelial tissue can either be flat, they can be cuboidal or look like cube in shape, or they can look like column in shape. Keep that in mind. So the shape, we have three, and by layer we have simple, we have stratified, and pseudo-stratified. So simple is one layer of cell, stratified multiple layers of cell, and pseudo-stratified is one layer of cell, but the cells can be of different shape and size. So the way we name epithelial tissue, we start with the layer, then we go to the shape. So for example, when we say we have a simple squamous epithelial tissue, that means we have one layer of cells and it's flat. So the way to put that is one layer of flat cells. So simple is one layer of cells, squamous is flat cells. So simple squamous epithelial tissue is one layer of flat epithelial cells. So stratified is multiple layers. So stratified squamous will be multiple layers of flat cells. So that is how we name epithelial tissue. While the last type of tissue we have is the connective tissue. The connective tissue are found almost everywhere. It has four classes. The proper connective tissue. We have the cartilage. Cartilage are found in the ear, in the nose, in different parts of the body. While the bones, bone is also a type of tissue, and that type of tissue is called the connective tissue. And we know bones, they are found almost everywhere in the body. And also blood. Blood is also a type of tissue, connective tissue. And so that's a brief summary on cells and tissue. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.